His Excellency Mr. Wakyang Sobotko, President of National Council, Lower House, Her Excellency Ms. Christian Schwarz-Fuchs, President of the Federal Council, Upper House, Members of Parliament, Ms. Njeka Hebel Kembalder, Secretary International Affairs, Austrian Parliament and other members and officers of the delegation. At the outset, I heartily welcome all of you to this historic city of Hyderabad, which has the eminent history of 400 years old. I am very happy to note that your visit was timely as the budget session of our state legislative assembly was in work, and it will throw some light about the functioning of government of Telangana under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Let me apprise to your good selves that our Indian Parliament is bicameral that consists of two houses. The lower house representatives are elected directly by the people, and the representatives of upper house are elected indirectly, that is, they will be elected by the members of state legislative assemblies in India. Furthermore, even Telangana legislature is also bicameral, which consists of two houses. The lower house members are directly elected by the people of the state, and the upper house members are elected through various categories, that is, elected by the members of lower house, elected by the graduates, elected by the teachers, and the last but not the least, nominated by His Excellency Governor, eminent person from the fields of education, sports, arts, and social service, etc. As you are aware that our Telangana state was carved out only 7 years ago from the then state of Andhra Pradesh. In spite of that, our state stood 4th place in respect of per capita income all over the country. Our state, under the dynamic leadership of our beloved Honorable Chief Minister Sri Chandrasekhar Rao Garu, also contributes highest GSDP to the national economy, and there are many more achievements in the last 7 years to the credit of Telangana state. As I have said earlier, under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, the government of Telangana is striving hard for the overall development of the state by way of implementing various welfare schemes that are aimed at the amelioration of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes, minorities, and other economical backward classes. The welfare schemes helped these sections to compete on par with the well-developed sections of the society. On the lines of Indian Parliament, the Austrian Parliament also consists of two chambers: the National Assembly, that is National Rat, and the Federal Council, Bundesrat. This National Assembly is the main legislative body. The preparation and implementation of legislation takes place in the federal government or in the provincial governments. The legislative tasks are carried out at federal level by the National Assembly in conjunction with the Federal Council. The Federal Council represents the interest of the provinces in the Parliament. Provincial assemblies represent the interest of citizens in the individual provinces. Each federal province is administered by provisional government, which is headed by the provisional governor elected by the respective provisional assembly. Austrian culture has been influenced by its past and present neighbors, Germany, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy, and Romania. As many as 31,000 Indians are living in Austria, and they are actively involved in the nation-building activities. Austria has the 16th highest national employment rate at around 71.5%. There are new jobs opening with a bur- burgeoning startup community and a big increase in the country's service economy. Opportunities can be increasingly found. I hope that, trust that your stay in Hyderabad will be comfortable and will help you make comparative study of the functioning of our two nations and help exchange mutual interests and strengthening bilateral ties between India and Austria. Thank you, one and all.
Now I request His Excellency, President of National Council, speak a few words.
Excellency, Speaker of the Assembly, it is a great honor for us, for me and for my delegation as well, of the Speaker of the Upper House, to be here, to be invited from you. Our visit should strengthen our relation between India and Austria. You mentioned the democracy system in your country, and you refer to Austria, and I think it's the same. We're a federal state with one central state and with 9 federal states since 1945. You see, you are founded in 1950 or 90. You get freedom in 1947, and we are equal old in the history of the 20th century and the 21st century. It's for us important to strengthen the relation in economical affairs, in cultural affairs, as well in the tourism, in the field of tourism. Before we had the COVID crisis in 2020 starting, we had a lot of Indians come to Austria to visit, and also a lot of Austrians come to India. And now we see that the flight is going on, flights are going on, and it's possible to come as well to Austria, as well to India. COVID isn't gone, but we can manage it. In the case of vaccination, you were very successful in the past, and also Austria, and therefore it will be our target to be well prepared for the autumn, and therefore we're all in the same role to fight and combat this really the worldwide greatest crisis after 1945. You mentioned that 30,000 Indians are living in Austria, nearly. We haven't so many Austrian people are living here, but we have a lot of companies. They especially engaged in Hyderabad and in your country that's founded 10 years before, or that 8 years before. We existed separate federal states since 2014, and we come from the airport. We see that the development is going on when you compare it. And our new consulate will be founded and will be established on this day, and we will open it. And we're a very honorable consul. And he informed us about the really great effort and the great progress you made in the last years. And you are very one of the most the region that's most effective in economical growth. And therefore, I think it could be a possibility to have an intensive partnership, and partnership in share our techniques, to share our experience. And you have a lot of experience in the digitalization and in the digitalization affairs, and I think it's one of the most important economical fields of the future. The great companies of America are settled here, and that shows that especially this region is all responsible for Asia and for not only for India. and therefore it's important to make the connection also to Europe. And I think we are trying hard to negotiate and to come to a result with economical treatment and trade trade treaty for Europe and India. And then I think it could be a good possibility for the future for both to develop our economy and to hold peace. You know that, especially in Europe, a terrible war is taking place. We're close to Austria. The border is not so far away, 400 kilometers of Vienna. You have really a terrible war, and the impact is all of Europe. And I think it could be also, in our discussions yesterday we heard, it could be also an impact to Asia or to India, especially when you look about the special oil you get from the Ukraine, or oil and gas, and as well, especially for us, is the danger that the Ukraine is one of the most export nation for wheat and especially all the grain sorts. You see, we have a lot to do in the future, and I think when we can cooperate, our problems could be easier and could be solved in the sense for increase the living standards for our people and for whom we are responsible.
Now I request Her Excellency, President of the Federal Council, to speak on it.
Your Excellency, I would also like to thank you for the invitation here to your Parliament. It is a great honor for us to be here. As Mr. President Sobotka has already said, the ties between Austria and India are very important for us. We are happy to open the honorary consulate today, to have the inauguration, and we hope to further strengthen the ties between Austria and India, especially when it comes to economic ties. Yeah, your president mentioned it before, there are many job openings in Austria all over Europe. The population in Europe is shrinking, the population in India is growing. So it's an interesting market for European companies to have ties here to India, and we hope to have some economic ties. Coming to parliamentarism, being a woman, I counted how many women I saw on the floor today, and I would like to ask the question, what's the percentage of the women in your parliament? In Austria there are more than 40% in the National Council and also more than 40% in the Federal Council. And why are there not more women? Maybe you can answer me that question. I would be very interested in that. Thank you.
Any other delegates would like to speak, sir? Yes.
He was one of the first prime minister on the world and the most famous known a woman at the top of the state. A good example for democracy and also the possibility for career also independent from the gender state. So thank you very much, Christine, for the remarks and the question.
Stop. Ma'am. Sir. Sir, here. Sir. Here. Sir, थोड़ा.